for every move they make. Get ready for the impact, no way to take it back. This is the steel and canvas, this ain't no time for practice. High stakes, spectacle, adrenaline attack. Welcome to Slammin' It. Slammin' It.
And welcome to another edition of Slammin' It. I am Mando Medina, along with my tag team partner as always. That is the Jack of Rock. Dude, no tank top today, bro? Are you okay? Are you feeling under the weather? What's going on? He's wearing his WrestleMania stand up so you can see the Macho Man stuff that's towards the bottom of that.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Did you pick that up at the Hot Topic? Where'd you get that, man?
Oh, gosh, this was a gift from the wifey years ago.
Yeah. That was the WrestleMania where they battled for Miss Elizabeth, correct? Well, no, that's the WrestleMania where like it was him and Scary Sherry, and then at the end Elizabeth came in, right? Was that against the Ultimate Warrior?
It's like a mix of everything, but yeah, this is the retirement match between Warrior and Macho. Yeah.
All right, I'm trying to remember that they
and then Elizabeth came out, you know.
Yeah, because then the big thing is that there was a young lady crying in the stands, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's when Macho Man and Elizabeth made amends.
Yes, and then they moved on and did all this stuff. So, like, if we're wrong, please correct us. So, welcome to another installment of Slammin' It. Jack had some stuff done, some surgery done to his nose. Tell us about that. You can't even tell, dude. I'll be honest with you. You can't even tell.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Yeah, I I still have a deviated septum, but they basically went in through my nose, both nostrils. They went into my sinuses, and they burned some membranes because I couldn't breathe anymore out of this great big German schnoz that I have. So they corrected some stuff, some buildup over the years, and just barely now starting to breathe a little bit better.
Okay, so we do have a comment from Fonzie. He's going to join us later on. We bring that up. It says that it was when Elizabeth came back. So. But the question is, did you cry, Fonzie? We'll find out in a couple of minutes. I did not. So let me just go over the run-through of the stuff we're going to talk about. And, of course, feel free to comment. As always, the beauty of this show is that it's open. You want to talk about whatever you want to talk about, the world of pro wrestling. But remember, it's not only a wrestling podcast or talk shows I like. I'm still old school. I got to put this up. You need a Mr. Little Joe says that, Jack, you need a little Undertaker protector.
The Phantom of the Opera mask.
Yeah, that's awesome. So like I said, it's not only a pro wrestling podcast / talk show. We also talk MMA. We'll talk boxing, and I'm not the other sports. No, because there's other stuff that I do that handles all that stuff. But combat sports, that's what we do here. As Andy says, we'll talk to them in a couple of seconds. So we are going to talk about the Clash of Italy, as the thing says, the tease. We are going to talk about the King of the Ring. That tournament just started. We are going to talk about the AAA Noches de los Grandes. Of course, that was a tremendous thing we're going to get to. And yes, we are going to talk boxing. We're going to talk about the Stephanie Han versus Holly Holm fight that happened this past Saturday at the El Paso County Coliseum. The event was sold out. Looked tremendous on TV. You know, controversial end. So we'll talk about all that stuff. But as advertised, I cannot bury the lead anymore. Damn, that was one hell of a match between Los Grande Americanos, the OG Grande Americano, the new Grande Americano, and you know what, Jack, I'm going to let you have the floor first, but that was probably one of the best matches I think I have ever, without a doubt for me this year so far. That is the best match that I have seen this year in pro wrestling and this year for me. I don't know about you or this ranks, but for me, without a doubt, that's the best match. It was so good that they had to actually wait. They actually showed it on Monday Night Raw yesterday. So, Jack, I'll let you talk about it real quickly.
I'm glad that this is the lead-in, Mando, because you're right. This is so far a match of the year contender. You have the night of greats in AAA, and your main event was El Grande Americano versus the OG El Grande Americano. This match had everything. This match had drama. This match had stipulations. This match had love interests involved. This
Yep.
match had run-ins. This match had, a tremendous finish. You had a almost really a face turn for Chad Gable, who turned out to be the OG.
What the hell you say?
Americano.
The hell you say, my friend? Chad Gable was El Grande
Chad Gable
Americano?
This whole time. And
I
just
can't
wait
believe
till
it.
Ludwig Kaiser finds out that.
Oh my God! Never in my life. Never in my life would I believe it was Chad Gable in my life.
The guy went in being called, one of the worst names in the book to him being cheered for. At this match, this really, Mondo, if you go back to its origins, this should never have worked.
No,
Never should have
Ever.
worked because you have Chad Gable who comes in as a joke. I'm going to have a Grande Americano. This is a drink from Starbucks. What he's calling himself. And now, the match picked up steam. The character picked up steam. Chad Gable gets injured. You have Ludwig Kaiser coming in. And then next thing you know it, the guy is speaking Spanish. Let me put it to you this way. He's not really speaking Spanish. He's speaking Mexican. He's speaking with the cadence. He's speaking with the timbre of the Mexican culture. All the slang that's involved in there. And next thing you know, he has endeared himself, Mondo, to the Mexican people, and the guy has now gone mega in Mexico, and they did the right thing by having him go over against the OG El Grande Americano. The match, Dave Meltzer gave it a 5-star match, and it was everything that you could want, Mondo.
And it just tells you what a lively crowd will do for a match. That international crowd in Mexico, and just the entrance alone that the El Grande Americano, not the OG, but El Grande Americano, Ludwig, El único Grande Americano, just the entrance with the mariachis and the crowd going crazy is just beyond me. But it just shows you that when the crowd is very invested and they're being loud, they're reacting to every little thing that's going on, it makes a match way better. And we'll talk about the Clash of Italy, because that crowd in Italy, and also for the pay-per-view on Sunday, then also last night Monday Night Raw, a crowd makes a big difference of how good when you're watching it on TV. But oh my God, the stuff they did! I think I was telling my boy Little Joe earlier today in the morning that when they had the interference of everybody, because you knew people were going to interfere in this match. They interfered in the match, and then you had the false finishes, and then you thought it was going to be over. They still went about another 15 minutes after that. It was just beyond me. Probably one of the best matches I think I've ever seen. Like I said, it is number one for me. I think the closest I would give it, number two, it would just be CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Just because more of the mere shock of that nobody interfered in that match and then let them go toe-to-toe. But yeah, I thought it was a tremendous. I know we already have Andy waiting to join us, so let's get Andy here because I don't want to make Andy wait too long. So Andy's with us. Andy, what's up, brother? How are you this week?
Doing good. Living the weekend. Lots of good combat sports going on.
Okay. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff to get to. We had that. I was trying to watch the fight, and then after the fight, I went to the AAA, but it already ended. I was like, "What? It doesn't go like 2.5 hours." But they gave this match about 45 minutes. Did the Los Grande Americanos? So Andy, the floor is yours, brother. I know you want to talk about the AAA, but I'm pretty sure you want to talk about the other thing that happened on Saturday night. So go ahead, brother.
Well, let's stay on AAA because that was pretty awesome. I was watching, the local fight on my TV, but on my phone I was watching the AAA, keeping up with it, and I mean that whole card. I mean, there was 4 matches, but they all were solid. There's a lot of good action. I commented Mark Calloway, also known as one half of the Skyscrapers, or also the Undertaker, for those that are in the know. But I mean, I think he's doing a lot of good things down in Mexico, and that, I would say match of the year contender. Grande America. It had everything.
Wait, did you just say the Undertaker is Mark Calloway? Oh my God! You're giving away the secrets. Andy Quintana, how dare you? How dare you?
Chad Gable was outed, so Mark Calloway. There you go.
Next thing you know, Mark Callis is going to be the Undertaker. That's what you're going to tell me next.
That's hilarious. No, like I said, it's probably the best thing that's on TV right now is Triple A. Yeah, Jack, your
He's
thoughts.
a great booker, man. They're calling him Undertaker, with the three A's.
I say that's pretty good.
I mean, the way that was an accidental booking that turned into, top storyline. I mean, it's up there with all the top storylines in all of the federations. So
let me try, gentlemen, refresh my memory. When Chad Gable started doing it, was he doing to mock Dragon Lee or Rey Mysterio? Which one of the luchadors was he trying to kind of get under the skin, or was it just all luchadors? Because that was how that gimmick started, where he was tired of luchadors getting all the attention, and then it started with him. And then, remember, they did something. Who did he wrestle at WrestleMania?
He had a match at Mania.
He had a wrestle. I can't remember. He had a match at WrestleMania, and he won. And then he got injured, and that's when they gave it to Ludwig, and then he just became a thing of its own, But I can't. Somebody let me know who it was, because at the top of my head, I can't remember who that feud started with.
Mania. I think it was Dragon Lee, but. It was a match.
Might have been Dragon League because it wasn't Penta.
I can't remember that. That's over a year ago. My brain's gone for short-term memory. Working a lot.
Now I have to find out. So, anyways, I'll find out. So, what else is going on, Andy?
No, and then just wanted to chime in really quick. I mean, the boxing itself too. I mean, you're going to talk about it a little bit more, and I love everything El Paso, but I just and lose when it's Texas versus New Mexico. Sorry, Jack, but I'm a Texas guy also. But I could not say that she won that one. But then I go back to, if you're the champion, you can't really you better have gotten knocked out to lose the belt. So I guess if you follow the age old standard, then the belt stays with her. But I think Holly Holm did a tremendous job, and by my scorecard, she won.
Okay, so what we're talking about is the Stephanie Hahn versus Holly Holm lightweight championship match that took place this past Saturday at the El Paso Coliseum. I have it in front of me, so let me bring it up here. The judges, one voted for I'll be honest with you, when the first judgment came down, then I heard a draw. I was like, no, bro. So it was 90. It was where is it? I have it here. Something. It was the first judge called it a 94-94 split, and then the second two had 96 and 94 for Han. So when you look at the CompuBox fight stats, Stephanie Hahn landed 70 punches. Holly Holm landed 107. Stephanie Hahn threw 358. Holly Holm threw 437. The accuracy was 20% for Stephanie Hahn. It was 24% for Holly Holm. Now, the difference is here. Now, the numbers always don't mean that that's who won, but you can see the difference of who landed more, who's more accurate. But it all depends on because it doesn't say how many of these were the power punches, because it could be like a little tiny jab, a little thing here. They count every single type of punch every time you throw your hands forward. So, like, by no means does the CompuBox stats tell you that that's who should have won just because of that. Because what if it's a little jab that barely touches like that, it's not going to make that much of an impact. But if it's a big hit where like she moves and then she hits and moves the whole microphone like that, then it's different. You should judge it a little bit more. So, but I'm just giving you what it was. So Andy, you thought that she won. Jack, I'll let you break it down. By the way, I know everybody's gonna want to talk about this because the whole internet was talking about this afterwards, and they kind of still are. So Jack, give me your thoughts on what went down on Saturday night at El Paso Coliseum.
So where to begin? I asked you, who do you think was the busier fighter? Who do you think landed the most, let's say, the most devastating shots? Who do you think, again, stayed busy? Who do you think was the most active during that fight? In my opinion, I think it was Holly Holm, and I'm going to agree with the vast majority of not only social media, but the rest of I mean, it's so funny. It looks like the city even said, the city of El Paso even agreed that Holly Holm should have won this fight. And I don't know what I hated more. I don't know what I hated more: the outcome, or the fact that you had Mr. Jake Paul get on the microphone and then it made it about himself. It's not about him. It's not about him. The guy's an egomaniac. And rightfully so, he was booed out of the building. That was the positive. That was the only positive that I got out of that entire night. And
okay, let me talk about Jake Paul. Well, first of all, if it wasn't for him and his partner, the fight wouldn't even be in El Paso. They could have picked any city in the world to have this in. They had the first one in Puerto Rico. That's where Jake Paul and Logan, I believe, they live out there. The way I look at it is that they shouldn't get upset that they booed him, because he is a heel. He is a villain. He is the guy that you love to hate. He's done such a great job of marketing himself that you want to see him fight, because one, he would fight him these fights and he would always win, and people think, it's I can't believe he won. It's not right that he won. And then, it's like Floyd Money Mayweather when it comes to marketing. It's like Conor McGregor when it comes to marketing. These guys are marketing geniuses, and I'm not defending Mr. Paul. I'm just telling you that why I think people booed him is because he's done such a great job of being a bad guy. Then when you show up, they're gonna boo your ass. That's why they loved it when he got destroyed by Joshua a couple of months ago. But that's why I thought it was pretty funny.
So there's more to it than that, as far as Jake Paul is concerned. You ever have this feeling in the pit of your stomach, gentlemen? Whenever you see somebody, or whenever you're around somebody, whenever you hear somebody and you see that person and you get the ick, you get soul sick, you get a certain feeling about somebody that just doesn't sit right with you. And that is the feeling that I get when it comes to Jake Paul. Here you have this guy who comes from a privileged family, who never really had to work a day in his life. And for all intents and purposes, the country that the United States of America is built on is blue-collar workers. And we never really like a guy that comes in who takes what many feel is an easy way to make money, to fight these ham and eggers in boxing matches that really never made a living doing boxing. And he wins, makes more money, is this social media star, and people are following him. And it just, you get the sense that he never really deserved and never really worked, but he did, but you get the feeling that it was given to him, that this was handed to him, and that is the feeling that a lot of people get. And again, he made this about himself. Don King, for all intents and purposes, for better or worse, after a fight, never got on the microphone and would cut a promo. That's just not what was done. He made it about himself at the end, and people booed him. So, in a nutshell, that's what it is about Jake Paul.
All right, go ahead, Andy.
Is it that, he's capitalizing on being right place, right time, kind of.
Sure.
And I kind of liken him to kind of Vince McMahon, sort of. Vince McMahon happened to be right place, right time. But then you take it to the next level. I think I'll give him credit. I mean, they get on my nerves, but I guess that's what, like, to Mando's point, heels will get on your nerves. And the fight before that was on Netflix. The
Ronda Rousey fight. The Ronda Rousey fight.
And, what I really got from him there, and he started talking about fighting one of his boxers, and it's like, why would you do that? You're either a promoter or you're a boxer. You can't be both, and that's what I don't like. It's like it's one lane, But
to add on,
McMahon,
to add on what you're saying, yeah, okay. I wouldn't even go so far as to call him a heel. There's a difference between genuine heat, and then you have what's called go away heat. I think he's in the go away heat category. I don't care. I don't care for him. Don't care to see him. Don't care for his boxing. Don't care for his social media status. Don't care for his promotion. That's just me.
All right, that's Jack. Yeah, it is. It is the hype machine. Back to the fight itself, Andy. I know you said you thought. How many rounds you think Stephanie won?
I mean, with the homer in me, I'm still thinking it was 6-4.
Yeah,
The little headbutt, and it's like that's the little bit of the MMA coming out in her. She's just
yeah.
moving and just caught her on the right, the right
The right
eyebrow,
tempo.
and
Well, that's what happens when you have a southpaw fighting against a right-hander. So that's going to happen. And by the way, I thought the broadcast crew, they did a tremendous job. The color, the play-by-play. I can't remember her name, but she did a fabulous job. All the announcers did a fabulous job. Overall, like I will say, whatever we think about Jake Paul, it is what it is, but like no doubt, MVP, they put a tremendous event here in the city of El Paso. They made the Coliseum look great. I love how they had it. It kind of almost looked WWE like, where they had the ring around and they had all the graphics on the pose itself. They had like those animated TV stuff. I mean, I thought it looked great. Every single match was, if you're a boxing fan, every single one of those matches lived up to the hype. And right off the back with the first one. Yeah, it looked very legit. It was great. It's just at the end it was controversial. But I will say this. There's no way in hell that them two, that the ownership group of MVP rigged this fight. There is no way. It's just because when it comes to that situation, Jack, you know this, Andy, you know this, that when they come to pick the officials, they don't get to pick the officials. The state of where you have your event, their commission, the sports commission, the boxing commission, MMA commission, whatever they call it in what particular state, they're the ones that pick the people that are going to be the judges, And I've done a lot of boxing, not play-by-play, but ring announcing, and over the years where I've come to know some of these people. But I will tell you that all three judges, they were the first time they had seen Stephanie Hahn fight, But they are regulated by the state of Texas, the Texas Commission. So that's why, back to UFC, that's why when Dana White is always ragging on the judges and sometimes even the referee in the fight, is because he doesn't get to pick them. It's whoever the commission picks. So that's the one thing I will say. This is like, I can guarantee you that is not the ending they wanted. Like a controversial, because it's a little thing that you call, gentlemen, that I like to call the eye test. We're not experts. We're experts at talking. We're experts at doing that, but we're not boxing experts. We see, I mean, I'm more of a football expert, pro wrestling expert. Boxing expert, no, not much, because I've never done that. But there's something called the eye test, that we've seen a lot of fights. And then as you saw the fight progressively, I thought Stephanie won basically the first half of that fight. And then towards the end of the rounds, especially the last four, you could see that Holly Holm looked like the fresher fighter. She was still doing her combinations. She was still jumping up and down. It just, the eye test kind of, when you saw the eye test, like, she looks like the fresher boxer. She's fighting like she knows she's about to win this. So I think the rest of the crowd saw it the same way. But that's the one thing people don't like about boxing, gentlemen, is that when you get to the judges, you just never know how they're going to judge it. And it's unfortunate, because I can guarantee you that Stephanie didn't want the fight to go this way. I'm sure she's glad she won. She's still the champion, and they can move on. But I don't know if Holly's going to want to do the third match, but I don't know. But that, at least that's the way I look at it. She's going to come back. Stephanie's going to come back and try to prove everybody wrong. Say, this time I'm going to convince you all that I'm a good fighter, which she is. She's a world champion after all. But I guarantee you she does not like that and into controversial. Yes, Andy.
No, and I was just going to say, just the event itself for showcasing our hometown. I mean, that was great. When is ESPN doing a live broadcast out of El Paso on a primetime spot? You had the older sister Jennifer there, representing. You had the Crystal Poppin there representing. So it was I think for us as a city it was very it's a blessing for us to be on TV like that. We booed Jake Paul, and I was like, he. But I can see why, Jack, you hit it. He's the heel and the go away heat, and I don't know that just like the commissioner of the NFL gets booed. It's always the head honcho of any organization's going to get booed as much as they will be, patted on the back for what they do.
Yep.
To echo what Mando said, you have the eye test. The eye test also is very much involved in being 13 feet away from the fighters themselves. There are things that you see 13 feet away that you don't see on TV, that you don't see on camera, that will not pick up. You hear it, you see it when you're that many feet away as a judge, seeing these athletes where literally you can get blood sprayed on you. And, I'll ask you all this, and Mondo touched up on this, with the controversy now, with this fight, do you now have a third fight? Do you now have a third fight that could possibly now take place maybe in New Mexico, maybe even on neutral ground in Arizona? What do you think?
I think that's what everybody's thinking about, although I do know that I think it was yesterday or today I saw Holly Holm kind of put something on her social media about fighting the one that beat the one that Stephanie called out at the end. Was it Katie? The one that beat Jennifer. The one that beat her sister Jennifer. I think that Holly did like a graphic, like, hey, do you want to see me fight her? For me, I would say, okay, you know what? Let's do Rocky 3 on this. Or let's do Rocky 4. Let's do Rocky 4. Let's go to Albuquerque. This time you got to fight there in Holly Holm's hometown in Albuquerque. You go now. Stephanie's the champion. She's got to go to hostile territory. The crowd's going to be pro Holly Holm. I just thought about that. It's like Rocky 4 when he went to Russia to fight Ivan Drago.
Yeah.
So because honestly, now it would be more like if whether or not Holly Holm wants to go through this again because of the 2 times controversially the fight had been stopped.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm sure both of them, and by the way, yes, Katie Taylor, thank you, Andy. And by the way, I'm sure that when you saw the headbutt and the blood, I was like, dude, I can't believe we've got this already. Here we go again. It was crazy. But yeah, Andy, go ahead. Yes, sir.
After the fight, the girl from England, I think.
Yes, Dubois.
So, Dubois. So there's other opponents. I think that one, just on paper, that one's better automatically. You have 2 undefeateds, both champions. That naturally should be the next one. If I'm MVP, that's the one I'm angling for.
Yeah, we'll find out. Andy, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes, Jack. Yes, go ahead, Jack.
No, I'm saying I'm good with it. I agree with that too.
Yeah. All right, Andy. I appreciate you, brother. We'll talk to you here next week. So that is Andy joining us, bringing us some good points there about the fight. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was like I said, a great event on TV. So before we go back to our next guest, Robert tells us that he thought it was Penta who wrestled against El Grande Americano, but I don't think so because Penta won his match at WrestleMania when he was. So did Ray Phoenix. Domingo chimes in. What a match between the original El Grande Americano and El Grande on Saturday night. Tremendous match.
Match of the year.
Andy says we just had him. He just said Grande Americano beat Ray Phoenix at WrestleMania 41.
It was Phoenix.
Okay, so it was Ray Phoenix. But so I do remember that. And then after that, he got injured. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see all that stuff. But yeah, Jack, I mean, going back to the fight here in El Paso, like I said, they went all out here, did MVP. And I'll be honest with you, it kind of reminded me a lot of the Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm situation, where leading up to that fight, it was up to Ronda to do all the press and all the interviews. And I know Holly did some of the interviews, but you can almost see like all the pressure was on Stephanie for her to do every single appearance, every single commercial. I mean, and it goes with the territory. When you're the champion, this is what you want. You want to get all this stuff. But I'm pretty sure the week of the fight, like, hey, I kind of like ended at this point, so you really only had like maybe 24 hours to not even that to decompress, because the fight press conference, even though they weighed in the morning, I think they weighed in the only the press weigh-in was like at 9 or something like that, and then they were able to do the night weigh-in with the whole crowd at the Coliseum. That was at 6. So let's say you leave that, take pictures, all that stuff. It's like 9 o'clock. So like you only get to really kind of. Exactly. Then you got to fight, because obviously all the pressure was on Stephanie because she's the champion, But at the end of the day, it was a tremendous event, tremendous event for El Paso. It's just unfortunate how that fight ended. Let us bring in our good buddy Paul David Oliver, who joins us now. There's Paul David Oliver. We didn't speak to him last week. Brother, what's going on? How are you today?
How's it going, guys? Going well. Going well. I was listening to your little interesting conversation about Jake Paul and the whole controversial match with Holm and Han. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't. Unfortunately, as an El Pasoan, I was probably one of the only El Pasoans who did not watch it. I had to go to sleep early. But it's funny, but I had the fight going on, and then I woke up, and then I saw that there rose Han's hand, so I said, wow. But yeah, it's pretty interesting the way, everyone's talking about it.
What did you think? So you didn't get to see that. So what did you think? Did you get to see the AAA, the replay the next day of the Los Grande Americanos? Because like I said, without that, for me, that is the match of the year. Jack, I think it's the same for you, match of the year. Paul David Oliver, where do you rank this match for you right now?
Oh man, yeah, for sure. I would say definitely top 3 within the year for sure. Even give me your. You said 3, so now you got to give us the other ones. Because like I said, for me, I can give you 2. Idea. I can give you 2.
Give you
go ahead.
Go ahead, bud.
Go ahead, Jack. Give us the one that you think.
I mean, the one that comes to mind is MJF and Darby Allin.
Yep.
That one out of the gate. So I'll put that 1 and 1A between those two, between the Grande Americanos and Darby and MJF.
Yeah.
What about you, Paul?
I would say that one also. And I'll be honest with you, I guess maybe because I'm a little biased because I was live there, but also Roman regaining his reign over that WrestleMania. So I was pretty happy about that one. And I'll be honest with you, even at Clash in Italy, I was really, really excited and really glad to see Roman, I guess, get his tribal chiefmanship. I don't know what the correct terminology is for that. And later on to see Jacob, acknowledge him on Raw the next night.
Yeah.
So cool to see.
And that's what we're talking about there, Paul, as we talked about it. The crowd makes such a, and you've been there live, Paul, when the crowds are going crazy. But that crowd we had at AAA this past Saturday in Monterrey. By the way, AEW is going back to Mexico, so we'll talk about that later on. But what happened this past week internationally, I think, where was that? Where did it take place? Where it was AJ Styles, where they're yelling, where was that? Where was that in I know it was overseas. It wasn't in Ireland. Or was it in Ireland? I can't remember because they're really the ones that started it. Then they started the whole Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes.
Exactly. But they're the ones that started. It was international. It wasn't London. I'll tell you that right now. It was one of those. It was like either Italy or Ireland or one of those countries that started all that. Yeah, please let us know in the comments. But like I said, I mean, the crowd makes a big difference when you're watching it. When the crowd's into it, the crowd is red hot. Like every little move. I mean, God, look at what every single, like the boo, the yeah, and everything. It was just top notch. Like AAA, and also, like I said, the crowd makes a big deal also in Clash of Italy.
Absolutely, and so I think the crowd, and I remember it. I mean, even I think we talked about this 2 weeks ago that the arena itself, even the camera was moving, it was shaking, and I think that was in France, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, France. It was France.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it does.
Those European crowds, yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to say, Jack, is, I mean, those European crowds, I've had the luxury and the privilege and the blessing of being able to be in a European soccer crowd. And, I mean, those, you don't go exhausted. I mean, if you go exhausted to a game, you shouldn't go at all. I mean, you need to try.
I mean, you're going to wake up. You're going to wake up when you're in that atmosphere. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. They're chanting. They're into it. You're not sitting down. And
they're
it's
drunk.
you're in an 80,000 seated arena or stadium, and every seat is empty because everybody's standing up. You know what I mean? Everyone is into it, and it's amazing. I love the country that I live in, but I do agree that even like Dallas Cowboy fans, we're so lackadaisical. We're just sitting down enjoying the game, whereas in other countries they're just trying to really live in the moment, and just it's really awesome to see. So I agree with you. Yeah, those European crowds are definitely something else. Even as you said, Mando, in Mexico, I mean that the Triple A, I mean it was just also uncanny. So yeah, we need to step it up over here in the United States for sure with the crowd volume.
Gentlemen, I can't believe we have gone, what is it, about 36 minutes, and we have not even mentioned Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar Part 2. I can't believe we haven't even mentioned that. I'll be honest with you, I thought they handled that absolutely perfectly. I thought it was great. I love the fact that Brock Lesnar came out fine and all Sinners gave him a couple of F5s, didn't go down, then went back and forth. For what it was, I thought it was great. It showed the athleticism of Brock Lesnar, and it's still, even though Oba lost, he still came out looking strong, but like I said, I can't believe I hadn't even thought about that. So Paul will give you your thoughts, and then Jack will have yours. So Paul, we'll start with you with Oba and Brock Lesnar Part 2.
I agree. Oba, it's crucial, especially in this very, very delicate stage of Oba's career, and whether he's going to make or break it, that he looks strong. And I think exactly as you said, Mondo, he looked exactly that. He looked strong. He looked great. He looked like he can match up against the big dogs, and he did that. But so much just to the extent that he did look like that, but he still lost. And I think that was very great. It was strategic, not only of the way Triple H, planned it out, or the producer did for that match, but also I would say the way Brock did too. I mean, you got to give credit to the opponent. I mean, the opponent is half that battle of helping them sell. So I think Brock did a great job, and he proved why. I mean, he signed, I think it was a few years ago, that $9 million contract. And so, yeah, he's a pro for sure, and he definitely helped out Oba, and I think that kind of helped propel Oba's career a little more.
Go ahead, Jack.
So I thought the match itself was pretty lackluster. It's been pretty much status quo. Been pretty much status quo for Brock, to go about 10 minutes, suplex, F5, go outside, milk the crowd, keep doing the same move over and over and over again, which is what he did. So, okay, fine. He got his 1-1. Okay, maybe that's in his contract now that he's going to stick around now that TKO gave him the bag. So how long are they going to milk this 1-1 now? Are they going to go 3 months, 6 months? They're going to go a month? They're going to go maybe a year until they meet up again for the rubber match? That's the big question, is how long are they going to go until they finally put a bow on this rubber match and we see another 10-minute match of the same finishing maneuver from Brock over and over and over again with the same 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 German suplexes for about 10, 11 minutes. So we'll see what happens.
So Jack, what you're telling me is you don't like when we go to Suplex City. That's what you're trying to tell me right now. You do not like it when we go to Suplex City at all.
I mean, basically now entering Suplex City, now leaving Suplex City,
and coming back, do the turnaround, take the turnpike and come around. Okay, so here's the question: how do you think they handled him yesterday in Monday Night Raw with the King of the Ring tournament? It was a 4-way match. What your thoughts on how they handled Oba and that one? We'll start with you, Jack, this time around.
Okay, look, they make Oba look like $1 million. When it takes 7 F5s, clearly 7 F5s to put somebody down, and then you have the F5 that happened outside onto the table, and then Oba gets up. He gets up furious, and he goes back in. Makes Brock look, now Brock is in this situation where oh my God, what do I have to do to put this guy down? What other 2 moves in my arsenal do I have to do? Oh my gosh, what do we got? 2 minutes left? All right, let's end this. They made him look like $1 million. Oba is going to win the King of the Ring. He's going to win it. I'll call it right now.
Okay, I'm going to disagree with you, Paul. What did you think how they handled Oba during the King of the Ring yesterday, first match there on Monday Night Raw?
So I think it's interesting actually. I think it's interesting that they put him in the King of the Ring tournament. I get it. I mean, he's an upcoming star, but you got to remember too. I mean, the King of the Ring tournament, the winner is going to face a champion. And so we were thinking Oba might be facing Brock at SummerSlam. So it's like, are they going to really have him lose in the tournament, or how are they going to play this out? So that's what I was wondering. I mean, that's a really interesting scenario that they put themselves in. I
Okay.
mean, is he going to maybe is Brock going to screw him over? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think
I mean,
Brock
if
is
you're
going
going to
to.
make a guy, go ahead, Mando. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I think that because the one thing is that he addressed Brock Lesnar, so that means I think Brock Lesnar is going to come out next week, whenever they do the next qualifying match where he's going to be for the King of the Ring. He's going to interfere, and that's going to set up your SummerSlam rubberneck there, and I think Oba wins and retires Brock. So, but he's going to get paid. But yeah, go ahead, Jack. You were going to say.
Okay, hearing you say that actually does make perfect sense because look, if you're going to make a guy look like $1,000,000, you don't take that receipt and then turn it back in for a refund. No. You strap a rocket onto him, you push him to the moon because the guy is able to go in the ring. He's able to make a washed up has been like Brock look good, and you strap a rocket, put him to the top because I think that's the only place where he's going to go.
We have comments coming in. Jack hates Brock. That's from Fonzie. Take Suplex City all the time. I love it. I love the fact that no, we don't have to agree, y'all. That's the whole beauty of this.
Nope.
We have our opinions.
Nope.
We all interpret what we see differently. I thought there was a interesting way they handled this with the Brock versus Oba. Like I said, I liked it. I mean, I truly did like it. Before we move on with you, Paul, because I know you got stuff going on. Your thoughts? You said you love that the Roman got the. What did you call it again? That he got his. How did you phrase that?
Tribal chiefmanship, I guess. You could say.
Yeah. Your thoughts on how Jacob Fatu reacted last night on Monday Night Raw? Where you can tell he didn't want to be there, but he had to do it because he lost Tribal Combat. So, how long what is the future of the Bloodline? Now we're gonna do this, Jack. You talk about the same thing over and over from Brock Lesnar. For me, it's the Bloodline. Even though I love me some my tribal chief, Roman Reigns. I don't want to see a do-over over this. No, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see him go over and take over a Solo Sikoa and all that stuff. I do not believe that Ray, what's his name, Jey Uso is going to go over there and win the King of the Ring and win the WWE Championship. That is not going to happen, No. I mean, I like that they're planting that seed, but I don't think that's going to happen. But still, for me, like Jack, you're tired of the Lesnar thing. Like for me, it's like I like Roman Reigns a lot. I like the Bloodline, but I don't need a Bloodline 3.0, 4.0. For me, as crazy you are about Brock, that's why I'm about those Bloodline thing situation. Go ahead, Jack.
I'll agree with you there. I mean, and you saw a little bit of a tease at the end of the PLE with Solo and his crew, and now. But I do like this though. Now you have Jacob forced into Roman's crew, and now you have a vested interest. How long is this going to happen? When is Jacob going to say, Roman, I hate you?
Not a me.
Yeah. So that part I think is going to be really cool because the dude is a ticking time bomb when it comes to him being in Roman's crew. As far as Jay's concerned, the management knows damn sure not to have him win the King of the Ring. The dude won't even be sober by the time the press conference rolls around when he shows up. So they know not to give him the big huge push because we all know Jay won't be standing upright by the end of that PLE.
Paul, your thoughts on the Bloodline? Where do you think it should go?
Yeah, and actually I agree with Jack there that Jay, I'll be honest, so I was actually at the Indianapolis Royal Rumble, and people were already exhausted of Jay's run. I mean, he just, there's only so much he can do. I think him and Jimmy, I mean, as a tag team, I think that's the best he could get in his career, because just after a while, people do get a bit tired of it, and it gets a little bland. But yeah, as far as for that, yeah, I agree. I mean, if anything, I mean, they may, I mean, I'm thinking a little farther out there, but maybe they're setting something up between Roman and even The Rock. Maybe The Rock's last match, and maybe The Rock will help out Solo, and then Roman will have his backing with Jacob and the Usos. But I mean, that's the only thing I can think of, because it's been, I mean, utterances of maybe like Survivor Series and all that. But who knows? Who knows where it goes? But I do like how Roman, he's regularly making these appearances on TV. Who knows how long that'll last, especially his health, or if he has any other obligations with movies or anything like that. But it's really cool to see him, regularly make these appearances. I mean, ratings, I'm sure, are a lot up. I've spoke to some of my friends in the UK earlier today, and they said they love it right now. They love that, Roman right now is in charge, and it just makes for very entertaining TV, than when he's off TV and when he's not on air. So I think it's a smart decision, and I think it's going to help sell tickets. Do I think he's going to come to Las Cruces next month? No. I think probably the big name will be maybe Cody. Cody and Ola or something. I think it'll be Cody and Gunther actually as the main event. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting. But we'll see. Are you guys going to Las Cruces, or how you guys?
We're going to try. We're going to try to get to. Jack, did your radio station get free tickets, or you don't know?
I am actively working on.
He's working.
That's all I'm going to say. Yeah,
he's working it.
So,
Paul, I appreciate you, brother. We'll do it again next week. All right, brother. Thank you, Paul, for joining us there. That is Paul David Oliver joining us. Jack, we didn't even talk about Gunther and Cody Rhodes. Your thoughts on that match? That obviously it's a finish where Gunther loses, but he doesn't. It's kind of a controversial ending, so that means he still doesn't lose any mystique around him. Your thoughts on that?
Sure. I mean, he had the foot underneath the rope, and that again added controversy. So we'll see. Gunther still pick up steam. The guy really is just. I think he's one of the best wrestlers on the roster, and the guy is just biding his time. I think he will become a world champion again. I'm kind of worried, though.
Who do you put him with? And here's the problem with Gunther. The problem with Gunther is that you've made him so good. He's so good. He's retired John Cena, retired AJ Styles, retired Goldberg. Who do you put him with? Like for him, because thankfully you got to end the whole retirement gimmick, because not everybody he wrestles is gonna get retired by him. There's no way that's gonna happen. Who do you put Gunther against? That's the biggest problem,
We haven't seen Orton. We haven't seen man, that's a good question. I think that's also a good question for the gallery down there. I mean, comment who you would put Gunther against, like legit who you would put him against. I don't know. That's what I was saying. The dude is too good right now, and that is a terrible problem to have. Terrible problem.
So
because you got a guy that is $1 million.
So obviously they're gonna wrestle again. They have to, because of the controversial finish between him and Cody. I think it would be great if Sammy costs Cody the championship and Gunther becomes the champion, and then they do whatever they're gonna do with Gunther. Because then I can see whoever wins the King of the Ring go after that champion. Because I mean, that's another thing too. And these are great problems to have. Is that who is going to go after which champion at SummerSlam? Like right now, who would you have Roman Reigns go up against? Is CM Punk going to come back? Is it going to be Fatu? I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
These are good problems to have, but I think it'd be cool to see Gunther, the WWE champion, and whoever wins the King of the Ring, they go up against him, but then they lose because he's not going to lose very quickly. I think that's a problem that they need to really address. And for a couple of months leading up to WrestleMania, he just wasn't on TV. It's kind of like Liv Morgan, where Liv Morgan is the world champion, the world's women's champion, and she's basically coming out, but she's not wrestling anybody because they're still waiting for Stephanie Vaquera to get better. But still, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, what would you do, Jack, if you put your thinking hat on, think about it for a couple of seconds? Here's Andy. There's an interesting remark by Andy. He could have a epic feud with El Único Grande Americano. How about that? That'd be kind of cool to see there, Jack.
Good comment. Yeah, I didn't think about that. The dude is just, I mean, man, come on. Ludwig Kaiser now as El Grande Americano. The dude now is a generational talent in AAA. The dude has hit something that is just, it. He is it right now in
Yes.
Triple A. Where that stands right now with the American audience, let's find out. Let's find out, man. So as far as Roman, there was a comment that was made earlier. Roman maybe fighting The Rock. Look, I don't see that.
That's right. That's right. That's WrestleMania next year in Saudi Arabia. That's not happening anytime soon.
Look, man. I don't see that happening. The Rock is in his 50s now. Oh, what are you trying to say? A 50-year-old man can't do this. For all intents and purposes, if you've seen The Rock now, the guy has lost a ton of muscle mass for various reasons. Could be a movie role. Could be, look, dude, when you ride the lightning for that long, that's all I'm going to say. And you suddenly start losing your muscle mass, dude. Okay.
Well, the one thing
back on at that age, I don't see that happening.
The one thing I will say, he gained all that weight for the Smashing Machine, and by the way, he just did a tremendous job. That he looked physically amazing. The one thing I will say is that he doesn't have all those consistent years of the pounding that he had on his body compared to all these other active wrestlers. So that maybe that's one. Because think about it, he really he left at his peak. Think about this. He left kind of right after he beat Hulk Hogan. Then he did the Scorpion King. Because remember, the very next year when he came back, he was a bad guy. And then I think the Scorpion King happened. And then next you know, he's doing the Get Shorty movies, and he was gone. So he's good, like maybe 15 years. And then, of course, he had that match against John Cena. And that was already like 12 years ago, whatever it was. So he really hasn't had that toll in his body, but still. You know, you talk about all his college football, whatever pro career he had, you know, all those bumps and bruises. And it's kind of hard to do it, you know, at that age. But, hey, man, money talks. And even though he doesn't need it, you know, I'm sure, because if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in Saudi Arabia or WrestleMania. Yeah. At least that's what I'm thinking, Jack.
Look, I'm alluding to something else that clearly is hindering his current look right now, his current physique. And again, I don't see this happening with a man of his age who had to go off a few certain things. I'm just saying, I'm not outright saying it, but to come back at a certain age and to put back on that muscle mass, it's going to be hard to do.
It's tough. I mean, as we all know, as we get older, it's not easy to pack on muscle. You know, it's not. I mean, you can say it's all natural. And, I mean, all the bodybuilder people are gonna say, like, come on now, we. But hey, it's the latest batch of peptides, brother. That's doing. Before we get Fonzie on here in a couple of minutes, you got Andy talking about that. He needs to retire Rey Mysterio. That's what, and Brock does Gunter. And once again, by the way, how about Rey Mysterio going old school with the way he has been wrestling the last couple of weeks with the pants? That's old school. You know what? I think we're kind of starting to remind me of what we saw with AJ Styles last year. Where like we didn't know it was the AJ Styles retirement tour. It was just taking place. Something tells me that's what we're watching right now with Rey Mysterio as well, especially since they made him the GM of AAA.
Which is crazy right now because we're kind of seeing a Rey Mysterio renaissance.
Yep.
With the guy inside the ring and on commentary, and it's a good point, Mando. Are we seeing the end of his career right now? Are we going to start to see wind down? Which is crazy because he's kind of on a run right now. The dude needs his flowers. We need to give him his flowers right now and appreciate him while he's still with us.
I forgot to do something, Jack. Are you ready?
All right.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the show. You know, you hold up. Let me move it. There, it's on you. Do you see it? There it is.
Okay.
There it is. Like and go ahead. You can move now. Like and subscribe, brother. Yes, I forgot to do that. You know, I have all these graphics that I've got, and I forget. Go ahead, lift it. All right, go ahead. Like and subscribe, and then it goes away. Also, don't forget that we're available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio, all that good stuff as well. So getting close to the hour. Oh, they're back. Oh my God, they were there, they were gone, and now they're back.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, never in my life have I seen such treachery. I just made up a word. Oh my God.
Treachery, is that what you said?
Yeah, you're gonna love this. Look at what you're the first thing you're gonna see when we go with Fonzie. Look at this. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Get the Hulk Hogan.
That's the WrestleMania 7.
Yeah, the Python Power, brother. Well,
Well,
no,
you know something, dude.
well, shout out to my boy Joe Rodriguez who just subscribed because of that. Fonzie, what's going on? How long were you holding that up there, bro?
I was holding it up till it was time to go to showtime.
Jack, I don't think you realize how much of a Hulkamaniac Fonzie is. You know, I'm gonna make a T-shirt for Fonzie in the Hulk Hogan colors that says, "That's not gonna work for me, brother."
Exactly, brother. It's not going to work for me. But I just had to remind, I know that we're talking about the present, but I had to remind everybody, the guy, why we're standing here and why everybody else is in other countries and doing everything they're doing great.
You mean Vince McMahon?
Yeah, there you go. Along with Vince.
So you mean George?
No, man. No, don't get this
You mean Roddy Piper?
Oh,
Hey,
man.
yeah,
Ted Turner? Oh my God, Ted Turner! In my
mean
life,
Ric Flair?
Ric Flair,
There you go, brother. But I can
Pedro
tell you,
Guerrero.
I just had to
Bro,
remind
we're just
everybody.
Fonzie, we're just messing
Hulk
with you,
was
dude.
selling, Hulk
just
was
messing with you.
selling over the European countries a long time ago, even though they were on pay-per-views. But you know what? If you go look back at those Coliseum videos,
Oh my
you will
God,
be
the
able to
tribal
watch
chief.
those matches.
The tribal chief is in the house.
That's right, brother. You got to remember when the Hulkster when he picked up that no good stinking giant who's weighing 700 pounds, brother, and he
Yep.
put him over his head and he threw him out of the Silver Dome.
Exactly. See, Jack knows, but unfortunately, Jack forgets that Brock. I got to come in here and say, Brock is the biggest attraction that the WWE has right now. And that's the reason
I mean,
why
it's a
they're building
side
it up.
show.
And you know what? Brock's is a pro's pro. You know,
I will
there's
say
a lot
that
of
he is a pro. I will say that I will say this about Brock Lesnar is that like he didn't have to do any of that stuff that he did for Obafemi. So he really did do that. You know, he didn't have to drop the title to Eddie many years ago, even though he was going to be on his way out. You know, so he does give back to the business, so to say, the way that John Cena did. I know about your boy Hogan though, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you. I know about your boy Hogan though, but
Well, it doesn't work for him, brother.
It doesn't work. That's what I'm saying. But nonetheless, let's move on. Besides the Brock stuff, I know you had some thoughts about Cody. I think you commented something about Cody, right?
Oh, the Cody Crybabies, baby. That's what
Yeah.
we're talking about. Hey, everybody forgets about the Cody Crybabies. Boy, you know, I watched this, this PLE. You know, Gunther should have gone over. And they could have built a great story with him and Cody leading up to SummerSlam, which there still are, but you'd rather have that villain have that championship, and you want Cody to chase. But, you know, Cody's got to do something different. I mean, he's trying to be edgier, but he still kind of put that snooze bar on there.
Well, we do have a comment from Domingo, literally talking about what you're talking about. It says that lately Cody has had some heel-like tendencies. So here's the question that Diego asks of all of us: when does the WWE pull the trigger and turn him heel? Is it after he loses the championship? I still think Sami Zayn's gonna like interfere somehow when he loses the championship. You know, I think that's the way you do it. I don't think they're going to do Roman versus Cody. You know, they're eventually going to do Cody versus Punk. That's a money match there. But still, Fonzie, we'll go with you. When do they pull the trigger and turn Cody heel?
And it's kind of tough because he's put himself in. He's not in the John Cena status yet, but he's talked about, you know, if he should ever turn heel. And I don't think he'll turn heel. He's just got to be a little bit edgier. Got to be a little bit more electrifying. Which I did see in some cases in this upcoming to Gunther match here, but he's got to let go. He's holding back a lot.
Because
Jack,
Jack,
if it happens, it'll happen in SummerSlam.
okay, and because we have seen it, like if you followed Cody in the independent scene when he was a heel, Jack. Oh my God, he was amazing
He's awesome.
when he was a heel. He was awesome when he was a heel. You know, so Jack, if you could put your Nostradamus hat, when do they turn Cody heel? Because honestly, I think they're gonna have to. Like you've been in this day and age, you can't be like how Hogan was like
easy.
Mr. Good Guy for about 4 years. I mean, now that's how long it's been that he's been the good guy there. It's been like about 4 or 5 years now since he came back from AEW. So
Okay.
when would you turn him? I think Fonzie does a good thing. I think you turn him heel like. But I still think he loses the championship and then he loses it. He's got to have a reason to lose it. He just can't be the
Yeah.
fans. He's got to have a reason to turn the other way. You know.
So-
Go ahead, Jack.
Their WWE is getting to this point to where they're treading water and they're getting into dangerous waters where Cody had this he had this trouble in AEW where he was becoming a little stale and people were
Yep.
starting to see right through him and they wanted to turn him heel and they wanted him to be heel, and Cody also knew this. He knew this. He knew that the crowd was beginning to turn on him and they wanted to turn him heel, and it never happened. Are we starting to see a little bit of that right now, gentlemen? I think so. So I'm thinking right now, when, if and when would they turn him heel? I think the time would be right. We saw this teased a little bit with CM Punk. I think that would be the time to turn him heel.
I agree with what you're saying. Go ahead, Fonzie.
And what do you're exactly right. I mean, I'm looking at it. You talked about Mando. You talked about 3 or 4 years. That's the Hogan era, that time frame. The John Cena era just lasted so long. But nowadays, you can't just tease that, and especially when everybody wants it.
Yeah, at a certain point, you got to give them what you got to give the crowd what they want, and they kind of want something different for Cody. I think it'd be great to see, especially if he loses it, because, like, for me, like, he's got to have a reason. You just can't turn heel because the crowd is booing you. I mean, it comes with the territory. So we'll talk about that, gentlemen. Fonzie, yes, sir. Please, sir. Yes, sir.
To have a little callback here to the Hulkster brother. Okay, aside from WrestleMania 1 through
9,
2, 3, what was the best thing that they had WWE do with Hulk Hogan? It wasn't him holding on to the title. It was the chase. It was the chase that we love.
Yep.
That's always the best thing. That's been the formula. The chase to get to the title, and then worry about everything afterwards. But the chase is what gets you there and gets everybody bought in. That story sells.
Well, that's why the whole finish the story angle that was, and then like I said, the one WrestleMania, the one WrestleMania we thought was going to happen, it was like, nope, you're gonna have to wait another year, and it worked. It was even better, But I think that's the one thing I think a lot of people kind of rather see Cody chasing it, but like it'd be nice to see something different, especially with we don't know what's going to happen with Randy Orton. When does Drew McIntyre come back? I know somebody did somebody commented about Drew McIntyre. It was a Derek saying that Derek versus Roman feud. Now Derek with Drew being finished filming the Highlander, I think that'd be good as well. But let me move on before we wrap it up here, Fonzie, because we're already going over the hour. So give me your thoughts on Braun Breaker, because there's rumors now that he might be injured again, because after the event, one of the fans filmed him going to his hotel room and he was limping bad. By the way, that main event match, I think that was the first time we actually had a main event on Monday Night Raw. There was actually a match, not a segment where all they did was talking, and so actually they put on a badass match. That was a pay-per-view type of match there between Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins, which of course Seth Rollins and Heyman took another spear. Love to see that when that happened. He took it sideways. That
was fun.
How devastating, gentlemen, would it be if Braun Breaker is injured? Fonzie, we start with you.
You know what? I think it'd be a big devastation for his career overall, because they're trying to give him the big push, and then you get injured again. And how long is this injury? Those things. It's like those great football players. Man, you've got the greatest talent in the world, but you can't stay healthy. And so we can't count on you. We got to find your replacement. And in wrestling, we're going to find somebody to fill your spot. And and the guy could be the next guy. He could be the next, big Papa Pump type of character. But when you're injured as many times that he's been within the last year, and you're not on TV, and you're not a whole lot on there, it's tough. It could really devastate him, and might derail his career from that big stratosphere and being that higher tier superstar.
Jack, your thoughts on the situation with Braun Breaker? How devastating would it be if he is in fact injured again?
Well, let's hope it's not legit. Yeah, and first and foremost, you definitely don't want any superstar. You definitely
Correct.
don't want any wrestler to be injured. That being said, maybe we're being played here. I hope we are, because remember when Seth, before he actually did get injured, remember he actually played it off that he was indeed injured. He'd be walking around in crutches. He'd be walking around hurt. People legit thought that he was with his daughter on crutches, and the next thing you know, he surprised everybody. I'm okay. So maybe he's playing this. I hope.
And Jack,
so.
that is exactly what Felipe is saying right now in the comments, that the curse of the Vision continues if he is injured. Because think about it, after they faked that injury that led up to SummerSlam, you had Bronson Reed get injured. Well, first of all, you had Seth Rollins get injured, had to give up the title. That's how CM Punk got it. Then you had Bronson Reed get injured. Then you had Braun Breaker get injured, and now you have Logan Paul get injured get injured as well. So right now it's just. But honestly, I think all that is the best thing that could happen to Austin Theory, because Austin Theory has stepped up and they've allowed him, instead of being like the side to the side kick. You see how I said that? 3 sides to the sidekick. I think it's his time to shine, and I don't think they're going to bring in anybody else. Fonzie, I'm going to wrap it up here, so I appreciate you, brother. We'll do it again next week. All right, brother?
Hey, brother, shout out to all you guys. Hey, have a great week.
Show us the Hogan thing one more time before we.
Just to show you, this is one of my gifts, from my lovely woman.
There you
she
go.
Gave me this. She's like, look at that,
brother.
Well, hold on. There you go.
Turn it more to your left. There you go. Right there. That's great. Right there. All right, Fonzie. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. There it is. If you will. And I got my little Rey Mysterio in the house. I forget I got this. I was gonna take this when we were in Las Cruces. Oh my God, tribal chief in the house. That's
your QB1 now. Did you just make him kiss?
No, I said I will fight you. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know, but I do like what they're doing. I like it when Roman Reigns is on TV. I really can't, fault what they're doing right now. Like I said, I'll be honest with you, I don't really have a chance to watch SmackDown live. I just see the highlights, but Raw I see live. Like yesterday, I totally forgot that it was at noon. So, hey, I can watch it live. So, before we wrap it up, I want to bring it up again that don't forget the WWE will be in Las Cruces July the 11th there. It is a house show. We talked about the ticket prices last week. That was the main focus last week. Not going to get into it here. I don't know how many tickets are remaining. Big news from AEW. They're going to return to Mexico, Arena Mexico, with the second installment of the Grand Slam Mexico. So they're seeing what's going on with the WWE and AAA. The event's going to return on August the 5th, 2026 this year. And, of course, it's going to happen from Mexico City's Arena Mexico. And I'm telling you right now, like, that's probably one of the smartest things the WWE did about a year ago, where they purchased a majority stock of AAA, because you've seen just the audience that they've been able to reach. Because, like I said, I'll be honest with you, it's kind of hard to find and keep up with what's going on because we don't have all those channels. But now that I know that when they have their weekly show on YouTube, and then they're also doing their pay-per-views on YouTube, I think it's a great thing. So for me right now, the best thing that I'm seeing from WWE side is AAA with what they're doing. I still think AEW is doing a tremendous job what they do. Like the wrestling, I know some people don't like the wrestling they do in AEW, but I truly love what they're doing with AEW. Like I said, I love what they're doing with TNA, and we got to start hitting more in TNA. We will next week, I promise. We can start hitting more in TNA, especially because they're coming back on December 17th and 18th. Yes, Jack, before we wrap it up.
To echo what you're saying, when it comes to wrestling, it's not true when people say less is more. No, more is more. More is better. So we want more, whether it be AAA, CMLL, TNA, New Japan, Ring of Honor, WWE, AEW. But NWA, for crying out loud, you know, the more.
Dude, imagine we
more,
we get a double header. We can get Billy Corgan on this show, talking about. I would approach him first about NWA. Then you can sneak in that we used to do. You still do rock, and I used to do rock. You know that we throw that in there as well. But if we can get him on the show, I think it'd be great. There's I think it's on Amazon Prime. There's a series on the NWA. I think it's like 2 years old though, you know, where they do backstage stuff with Billy Corgan and all that stuff. So I think that's great, and we're still going to try to get Persephone, who is CMLL champion. Of course, she was on TV this past Saturday on Collision. Commentary. She's going to wrestle tomorrow on AEW Dynamite. It's one of El Paso's very own. So we're working all that stuff. So Jack, I'll let you. Try to. Can you breathe normally? I mean, when did you have this surgery, by the way? Because I'm just finding about it right now. There you go.
I had it last Thursday. Thursday. So now this is going to be a 4 to 6 weeks recovery time. So yeah, right. It feels like this nostril. It feels like there's something lodged up in this nostril right now. So gonna have to go see my ENT on the 10th.
Okay, so folks, before we wrap it up, don't forget to like and subscribe. It is back. It is back. There it is. Like and subscribe. And then it goes away. And then it goes away. And don't forget also, we have the audio version of it available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. When I remember to put them up there, because I forgot the last two. I ain't gonna lie to you, dog. I forgot the last two. I've been a little bit busy. So so for that's gonna wrap it up. So we'll do it again next week. So for Jack, Lutz, I am Mando the Monster Dean. Everybody that tuned in, thank you so much because we like to do it live. We'll do it again in 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Bye.